Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update on the current situation here in Spain. Day 88 of the current situation. That's right, day 88. And today's video is all about some announcements that the government is going to make official today regarding the new normal and some of the rules associated to that. Firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments, lots of debate happening there as usual. A big thanks to people who decided to support the channel through a small donation. You can see your name there. Big thanks to the people that bought merchandise, and a big thanks to my patrons on Patreon for your support. Now, as I said, some new rules that are going to come into place, mainly regarding wearing masks. And we can see here the decree on the new normality reduces the physical safety distance to 1.5 meters. And also part of the new normal, masks, hygiene, and reinforcement of the role of the health department. And as we saw, a 1.5 meter distance rule in place instead of the 2 meters that was announced before. So what that means is that masks are going to become compulsory if that social distance of 1.5 meters can't be maintained. So remember, we're going to have to wear them indoors if we go to a public area, shopping center, shops, etc. And also now in the street if that 1.5 meter rule can't be guaranteed. And to be honest, it's going to be difficult in a lot of places in Spain, because here in Madrid in particular, the sidewalks or the footpaths are very narrow and very difficult to maintain any distance at all, especially when crowds start coming back to these areas. And the police are going to be out in force, and they're going to be fining people if you're not wearing a mask. And we can see here that the fines will be up to 100 euros if you don't wear them. So my suggestion would be that you carry a mask on you at all times. And if you are going into a city area or a crowded area of the city, you're going to have your mask on, as the police are going to be watching to see whether people are wearing masks or not. Now, if you saw a video that I did the other day when I went into Madrid, the majority of people are wearing masks. And that's even when the streets are not very crowded. And again, I've noticed in this particular area as well that when people are out doing their daily walks, they're wearing masks. They're in the middle of nowhere, but with a mask on. So people are getting used to wearing masks, and it's all becoming part of this new normality. I personally don't like wearing them if I don't have to, but yesterday I went to a busy shopping area, and of course I had to put the mask on. Not allowed in the shop if you haven't got the mask on, regardless of how many people are in there. So these are the rules in Spain here at the moment. And the health department will force people to wear a mask until there is a vaccine or if the pandemic is over. The government approved that decree of the new normality, which I mentioned before, without establishing a specific date for the end of its validity. So there's no end. So this is going to be the debate, again, I imagine, in the comment section about wearing masks. A lot of people seem to say that they're anti-masks, but when you go out into the street here in Spain, everybody's got one on. And apparently it's not going to be okay to have it just hanging off one ear or in the back pocket or something like that. The police are apparently going to be strict on this. So watch out. Now, the health minister also came out yesterday and said that travel restrictions here in Spain will most likely be lifted on the 21st of June. And we can see here that he believes that mobility restrictions will be lifted throughout Spain, meaning that we will be able to travel to different parts of Spain as of that date. Now, if you're in Andalusia at the moment, you can travel between provinces. You can travel between Granada and Malaga, Seville, Cádiz. You've got that freedom of movement, but you still can't leave your autonomous community. But as of the 21st, apparently that will be the case. So people will be able to go to the north of Spain. People will have greater freedom when it comes to movement, which is something I personally am looking forward to. Now, the economy is in the news again, and the effects on the economy that this crisis is having. And the Bank of Spain yesterday forecasted a harsher recession of up to 15.1%. So a 15.1% drop in GDP this year. And they also predicted an increase in the unemployment rate to 23.6%. So again, unemployment here in Spain moving into the mid-20s. And that's not unusual. I've seen it happen before. And if we have a look here at this graph from the last 30 years, we can see that unemployment has topped 20% on at least 3 occasions. One there back in the 80s, another time in the early 90s, and again there at the peak of the last financial crisis around 2014, 2015, where it hit around 26 or 27%. So mid 20% unemployment here in Spain, not unusual. And again, if you belong to that generation of people that started looking for work around 2010, you're going to be doubly hit by chronic unemployment, unfortunately. But then again, what can we do? Destroy the economy and then we destroy jobs. So back to those mid 20 unemployment figures here in Spain, forecast for this year and next year at least. Now, some news that was all over the British press yesterday was that Spain is not discussing UK travel corridor, but will welcome thousands of German tourists. So Spain seems to be snubbing Brits at the moment. Spain is not discussing a travel corridor with Britain, a Spanish Foreign Ministry source told Reuters on Tuesday, but it will allow nearly 11,000 German tourists to visit the Balearic Islands 2 weeks before officially reopening its borders. So Germans welcome, British not, according to that Foreign Ministry source. But again, should we believe a source inside the Foreign Ministry, or should we wait for an official agreement? However, Portugal has said that it's discussing an arrangement to exempt returning British holidaymakers from quarantine. So there we have it. Spain no, Portugal yes. So start booking those holidays to the Algarve, and if you want some advice on a nice place to visit in Portugal, let me know. Now, over the last few months, I've had lots of comments about people asking me about the Camino de Santiago and whether it is going to open up again to pilgrims. And we can see here that pilgrims will return to Santiago in July with the opening of the cathedral, the hostels, and the Compostela office. The reopening will be coordinated on July the 1st so that the roads will be open from that moment. The roads there meaning the paths that the pilgrims take to get to Santiago. So some good news there for people around the world that are looking to do that walk. And I must admit that it has become extremely popular over the last few decades, and amazing the amount of people that are wanting to come to Spain and do that pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela, which is a fantastic city. If you have been there, I seriously recommend visiting that city, even if you're not going to do the walk. Fantastic food, fantastic architecture, and in a great place here in Spain, which is Galicia. Now let's have a look at some of the comments from the last video. One here from Ninja Orchids, Ola Stewart, Costa del Sol here. I've been watching your updates since you started posting them, and I want to thank you so much for your continued coverage, never letting up and doing all the homework for us. Really appreciate the amount of work and research, etc. you put into these videos. Muchas gracias. Yeah, muchas gracias to you too, Ninja. Thanks for your support. It has been a long 3 months, and putting all of this information together hasn't been easy. Scouring newspapers, trying to find interesting information to keep people informed on what's happening here in Spain, which to be honest has not been easy. It's been a fairly confusing time. Lots of inconsistencies here over the last 3 months, and a lot of confusing rules for a lot of people. And to be honest, a lot of the local population hasn't really understood a lot of the rules, and I've just been trying to interpret them for people that don't really understand Spanish very well, and to get an idea of what's been happening here. Because let's be honest, a lot of the press here in Spain, or the English press here in Spain, is very sensationalist and hard to get a grip on what's happening a lot of the time reading that. One here from Emma Diva Official. That's my income gone for 2020. I make 90% of my annual income from singing in nightclubs and at weddings here in Mallorca. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Emma, and sorry to see that your income has dried up. I hope that it comes back sooner rather than later, but a lot of people here in Spain, myself included, have seen their income dry up over the last few months. Not really a lot we can do about it because we haven't been able to work, and of course you and your particular sector where you need to go out and perform in front of the public. Obviously, if there's no mass gatherings, it's going to be difficult, but as I said, hopefully sooner rather than later you can get back to doing what you do best. One here from Katie. Hi Stuart, my roommate and I really appreciate your videos. They're super helpful and got us through the worst of quarantine. Do you know when we'll be able to travel between regions? I live in Andalusia and need to travel to Galicia. I haven't gotten clear information about when traveling between regions will be possible, but some have told me that when the state of alarm ends, I can go. Hi Katie, thanks for the comment, and that is correct. When the state of alarm ends on the 21st, that is the date that the health minister yesterday said that people will be allowed to travel from Andalusia to Galicia or to other parts in Spain if you like. However, it's not official yet. He only suggested that that would be the case. And again, I suspect he's waiting for numbers and to see what the situation is like regarding the health crisis in certain areas. Because remember that if there is an increase in virus numbers here in Spain, we could go backwards. So he's not promising anything yet, but he did strongly suggest yesterday that the 21st would be the day that people like you can travel again to Galicia from Andalusia. One here from Justina. Hi Stuart, I also think that in some ways we'll enjoy cafes more in their new version. What I like most is improved hygiene. Bars with empty soap dispensers, dirty floor and greasy tables. Hopefully they are a thing of the past. I really hope it's not just a temporary change. The fact that tables are more separated means you're less uncomfortable when someone is smoking next to you. I miss the newspapers and magazines that are normally available in cafes but cannot be shared now. Some bars have established time limits for consumption, 20 or 30 minutes, and that's understandable, but I'm not sure it will go down well with the customers. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Justina. This refers to a comment that I made the other day about bars here in Spain and that I didn't like the crowded nature of them, and Justina here picking up on the hygiene aspect, which, let's be honest, has been lacking in a lot of bars, restaurants, cafes here in Spain over the years. I've seen some absolutely disgusting places over the years here in Spain, especially when you're traveling and you stop at one of those places on the highway. People don't realize that you need to clean the toilets every now and again. Doesn't seem to happen too often. Again, when you go into the toilets in bars and restaurants, they can be absolutely disgusting and people don't feel that they need to clean them. I'm not saying everywhere is like this. There are some places that are quite good, but in general, hygiene standards are not very good. And one thing that I hope changes are these very thin serviettes that you normally get on tables in coffee shops here that serve absolutely no purpose at all, and they end up in the street floating away as rubbish the majority of the times. Hopefully that's going to change, and just general hygiene standards in bars, but I'm not optimistic. One here from Chris. Hi Stuart, very inspiring that you became fluent in Spanish. Hopefully I can get there one day. Any advice on what worked well with learning the language? Yeah, hi Chris, thanks for the comment. For me, it was all about immersion. The more time I spent in Spain when I was in that learning process, the better, and the more people I spoke to, the better as well. Even when I was living in Australia, I would always look for Spanish-speaking people that I could have a conversation with. Didn't matter whether they were from Spain, Argentina, Chile. Australia's got a big Spanish-speaking population. The UK has as well. The United States, huge. You just have to find somebody that's willing to speak with you and really push those conversation skills. And if you do come to live in a country like Spain, your Spanish will just keep on improving and improving as you're in that day-to-day Spanish culture. One here from Wade D. Cat. Hi Stuart, enjoying the update. Well done, and gives us an insight into Spanish life at these times. We lived and worked in Burgos for 3 years, some 14 years ago. Our goal is to have a finca 20 minutes from the south coastal areas. Any tip on who to contact with regards to search and purchase would be appreciated from yourself or followers. Now to brush up on the Espanol. Stay safe, Was. Yeah, Was, thanks for the comment. I'm sure that you will be able to find a nice finca 20 minutes from the coast in one of those southern coastal areas. I know there's lots of people that watch these videos on the Costa del Sol or down in Andalusia in general, whether it's Almeria, Granada, Cádiz. Lots of people watching the videos, and I'm sure they can give you some ideas on where to go, so leave it in the comment section for Was so that he can find a nice place. And good to see that you are brushing up on your Espanol, which, as I always say, is fundamental to come and live in this country. One here from Medi. I've been working in Spain for the past 8 years until last month. One big problem is poor management skills. Here they are still in the authoritarian era. The manager is always right and zero flexibility. If you disagree on something, you are fired. Everything is a sweet mess and lack of organization shines. I am Nordic and I have had issues adapting to the local work culture. I do not recommend Spain for employment. If you have passive income or work as freelance, retiree, it's a cheapish country to live. Yeah, Mehdi, thanks for the comment. I agree with you. I have seen some terrible managers here in Spain, especially in some of the companies related to the financial sector. Bosses a lot of the times are old school dictators with no people skills, and they love to shout to get their message across. But that's just my experiences going into these companies over the last 20 years. And a lot of the times I see workers are scared by these managers if they don't belong to the Comité de Empresa, which is like the trade union inside the company. And if I had to sum up companies that I've seen here in Spain in a couple of words, it would be reactive rather than proactive. One here from Peter. Hello Stuart, thanks for your very helpful updates. The French are opening the Franco-Spanish border next Monday the 15th of June. Do you read that as meaning I can leave Spain and enter France? Obviously I understand that I would not be allowed to enter Spain from France. Yeah Peter, good question. Not 100% sure. All I know is that here in Madrid we're not allowed to leave the community of Madrid. So unless you're in the País Vasco, unless you're in the Basque Country or Catalonia or one of those places that has a border with France, I don't think you'd be allowed to travel there. I don't think that you would be allowed to travel from Madrid to France, from Burgos to France, or somewhere else to France, because there are provincial border controls here in Spain at the moment. We can't travel to Guadalajara, which is the province next to Madrid, because there are checks on the border. So I think it's going to be hard for you to get through. But I'd wait until the 21st, as that's when they are saying that complete freedom of movement will start again. And finally, one here from Guru Meister. Jeff Bezos, Amazon must be rubbing his hands with glee. Yeah, thanks for the comment. I think this refers to the stock market rally that I spoke about the other day. And you're right, people like Jeff Bezos are going to get richer and richer and richer. The system is in place for them to do so. The governments print more money. Where does it go? Does it come to me? Does it come to you? Or does it go to someone like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or all of these billionaires that have more money than some developing countries? On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta pronto.